This podcast contains adult themes, sexual content, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which this podcast is recorded and produced, the Jagera and Turrbal peoples, and the traditional owners of the lands wherever this podcast is being heard. We honour the long and rich history of storytelling on country and pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders, past and present. Sovereignty was never ceded. Welcome to the Historical Romance Review, the podcast where an avid romance reader and a reluctantly romantic historian chat all things romance fiction. I'm Sarah, the romance reader.
And I'm Amy, the historian. Hi, cutie.
Hi, nerd.
How are you?
I'm good, but how are you? It was your birthday recently.
It was my birthday recently, and not fishing for happy birthdays, but it's important to mention because it's the one day of the year that I allow myself to completely guilt-free, unashamedly purchase books.
Splurge.
I like to think I've been quite measured in my day-to-day life.
Very.
For not purchasing that many. And like I physically haven't gone to some of my favourite bookshops here in Brisbane because the temptation is too hard to resist. So on my birthday, I went with one of my dear friends who was visiting, and we just spent an hour or so, and I came away with a respectable 7 books.
That's amazing.
And 6 of those were secondhand. So 6 secondhand books for the price of essentially 1.5 new books. Yeah. And then I bought 1 new book.
Amazing.
But one thing that was very cool was, and I thought of you immediately, was in our last book review episode we did Heated Rivalry, of course, and we spoke about what sports we would love to see in the sports romance world. Yeah. And I literally saw in the new bookshop an AFL sports romance called After the Siren.
What does that mean?
So the siren is what we call the bell, the hooter, that
at the end.
At the end of each quarter of AFL.
Okay.
And so obviously after the siren is what goes on.
What happens
when they're not on the field.
I love it. Have you read it yet?
I saw it last week. No, I haven't. And I didn't purchase it, but because I think I still need maybe a little bit of time in between my next sports romance.
That's really fair.
But I was very excited.
Because that was the one you wanted. Yeah. You wanted an AFL. It's like you spoke and the universe was like, here it is.
Just manifested it into existence for myself. Because I do love AFL, men's and women's. I'm obviously particularly obsessed with the men's league because that's the one that's been going the longest since I was a kid. And this is a men's AFL romance. So I'm very excited.
A queer AFL sports romance.
It's perfect.
Incredible.
A gift from above. So we'll see. I may read it at some point and
give us a little review of it. Yeah.
But we're moving into the... I'm very interested because I think, because it's just newly come out, she's obviously written it after the whole Heated Rivalry thing. Maybe not after the TV show. It's probably already in the works
from the books,
after the book. So I'm interested to see how much similarity there is there. I didn't even read the blurb, so I don't know anything about it.
Oh,
but
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like going in cold.
Blind. Yeah.
Yes. But also speaking of last episode, we were talking about another thing that we wanted to see more of was more queer romances.
Heck yeah.
Because Heated Rivalry was our first queer romance. And we actually received a message from one of our listeners, Shania. Hi, Shania. Who had a bunch of recommendations for some of her favourite queer book reads. Yeah. I think some of these she has read, some of she hasn't. Yeah. After the Siren is on there, Shania's got her finger on the pulse also. She also recommended Red, White and Royal Blue.
That's a very, very well-known one. It is also now a TV show.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard of it, so I'll see. And Shania's comment is iconic.
It was one of the early kind of, I guess not early, but early modern in the last 5 years. Queer romances to get quite big.
Yeah. So this is a male Prince and President's Son.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I see it now. Red, White and Royal Blue. Yep. Wow. I'm kind of intrigued because you normally always have the royal character and the commoner, or the president's son, president's daughter and the commoner. But now it's just Is this an AUKUS romance? Is this like...
I don't know.
Do you know what AUKUS is?
No.
It's the Australia, US and UK treaty about like making the nuclear submarines.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Did the prince and the president's son meet during an AUKUS summit? That's my question.
We'll have to read and find out.
I mean, just like,
I was like,
is this an acronym that I haven't heard of in the romance world?
Should I know this?
No, it's a dumb politics acronym. We hate it. So red, white, royal blue.
Yep.
Cleat cute.
Cute.
Which is a women's soccer.
I've seen this one. It's new, I think.
Yep.
Shania, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a new one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
I have seen it.
Cleat cute.
Yeah.
So
Cleat cute.
So
soccer. Is it soccer?
Women's soccer.
Perfect. I love that. Okay, great.
Which is just like, that world is made for queer.
Absolutely,
like,
it is.
That's where they meet.
Yeah.
Like, look at Sam Kerr.
Exactly. I was about to say, married.
Why have we not been flooded with this market?
Yeah.
I mean, After the Siren, men's AFL.
Great.
Just the titles. Romance fiction. Backhanded compliments.
Tennis?
Yes.
Great.
Women's tennis.
This is like a fun little game now. I'm guessing which ones they are.
Yes.
Backhanded compliments. I kind of like that.
And I'm guessing from that it might be like a little bit
enemies
of
or rivals.
Yeah, like a little bit of a Pride and Prejudice vibe, kind of.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, they don't really get along or they don't really like each other.
I like that.
This one might be hard to guess.
Okay.
It's not a sport. Although we're seeing a theme here, right? We just
Yes.
asked for queer book recommendations and 90% of them are sport.
Tell you something.
I mean, that's where the girls, the gays and the theys hang out.
Yeah.
But The Charm Offensive?
Oh. Witches?
No, it sounds like it could be that. It's a MLM reality TV show.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, nice.
So I don't know if The Charm Offensive is something to do with the name of the show or something like that. I actually would be kind of into that. I feel like reality TV is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
So seeing a romance set in that world would be kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be like cameras on, cameras off thing.
True. Oh, I like that. But I do want to see a witches one.
Yeah, of course. We like some magic.
Practical Magic 2 is coming out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm so excited about that. I just was like, witches, wait a second, Practical Magic 2. I love Practical Magic and I made these guys watch it a couple of years ago. Do you remember?
Yeah.
These guys, Amy and our friends.
I watched it for the first time with one of my university friends way back in the day because I'd never watched it as a kid or a teenager. And she's obsessed with it. Shout out Anna. And yeah, I think the first time I watched it, I was like, this is fun, but it becomes unhinged very quickly.
It is very unhinged and it's all vibes, no plot.
Yeah. It's ludicrous.
It is.
But then when I kind of like watched it with you, I was like, nah, I know what I'm getting in for now. And you're just, you're there for the vibes.
Yeah, it's so good. And they're making another one.
Brought Sandy B back on Instagram.
Oh, I love her.
She's doing the promotion rounds, so. All right, two more.
Okay, anyway, yep.
This I don't think you can guess, but it's another sport one.
Okay.
You Should Be So Lucky.
Nah.
It's a MLM baseball player and reporter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so sports reporter, baseball player.
All right, nice.
Love. And then this one is not a sports one. Delilah Green Doesn't Care.
Okay, so I've heard of this one, and it's like a 3-part. No, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong ones. But yes.
Bad time to take a sip of my tea. I thought you were going to say more things.
I'm keeping that in. Sorry. No, I think I was thinking of a different. There's like a 3-part series of sisters, and it's like something Danny Brown, something. There's like a Chloe Brown. There's the Brown sisters.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure one of them has a chronic illness, maybe fibromyalgia, which is like pretty cool. And I really want to read it. I'm like, and those are my people,
my girlies.
My chronic illness people. But I think I was thinking of that series and not this series, but I have seen that book, and I've wanted to read it for a while.
Yeah, Shania describes it as a sapphic hometown romance.
Cute.
Which
oh
is
my
cool.
gosh, cute.
Sounds like it would be kind of wholesome.
Yeah.
I love a hometown romance, actually.
Yes.
I think that's a trope that I enjoy.
Hometown, small town.
So yeah, those are some great queer book recs and incidentally sports romances.
Yeah.
Recommendations from Shania. Thank you, Shania.
Thanks, Shania. Everyone say thank you, Shania.
Thank you, Shania. Right, well.
Let's get into it. What are we doing today?
Today we are talking about Out on a Limb. Yay! Yay! Which is just like we've done our second sports romance.
Yeah.
Allegedly. First queer romance. We're now doing our first disability romance, which is like, so yeah.
It's so beautiful.
You get it from the title. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Written by Hannah Bonam-Young, who has a disability herself.
Yes.
So she just goes ham with the puns, and it's amazing.
It's really quite good.
Yeah. So should I start by giving my little what I think the book is about recap, and then you can tell us a little bit more about Hannah and her world and what else she's written.
Perfect.
Because I feel like I've heard you mention her name before to me as someone that you love, but I've never really seen her books around and never really heard much about her. So I'm super keen to hear more.
Great. I'm excited. Tell us all about this book. Spoiler free. Out
on a limb, we meet the FMC is Winifred, known as Win. She has a, how does she
limb
describe
difference.
it? Limb difference, yeah. Small hand, yeah. She had underdeveloped hand, that's what she describes. I think it's her right hand as well. So she's born with an underdeveloped hand. We get introduced to her. I love the start of this book. She's at a Halloween party dressed as a pirate. So that she can have a hook on her hand.
It's so perfect.
Iconic stuff. And we learn, she does this every year. It's her little shtick.
Yeah.
And she's at the Halloween party of her best friend, Sarah. Whoa.
Oh my gosh, it's me.
Anyway, she meets a really handsome man at the Halloween party called Beau, who is also dressed as a pirate because he has a prosthetic leg, which he covers with like contact paper to look wooden. So he's got his like peg leg. Amazing. The vibes are high. They instantly click. It's so beautiful. And they have this like really sweet and really sexy kind of one night stand at this party. It's beautiful and moving for them for lots of reasons, especially for him, which we'll get into. But yeah, they have this really great, sexy time. So that might feel like a spoiler, but that's literally the opening chapters.
Yeah.
So this is where the book starts, and you're like, okay, where are we going with this then?
Is this the love interest? What's happening?
So the plot then is we sort of flash to 6 weeks later, and Wynn discovers that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that she's on birth control, they didn't have condoms at the time, so she decides to risk it. But she never takes her pill on time, so there you go. So she's pregnant. So the majority of the story then follows her decision to keep the baby, go through the pregnancy, and then it's about her and Beau, this guy that she did really like, she had a great connection with.
Lots of chemistry with.
Also this kind of similarity between them, and they're both people living with a disability.
Yep.
But she does not date people. She only does casual stuff. She does not get into serious relationships. We kind of learn that she's had a very bad, traumatic relationship in her past, which was a very serious one. And so ever since that imploded, she's like, nah, I just do the casual stuff. I have some fun. I'm not getting sucked into anything. So the general plot of the book is like, how can she be a mother? She's kind of confronting her own potential limitations in being a mum. Is she ready, even though she knows she wants to have this baby? And also, what's her relationship going to be with this guy who she likes, very quickly realizes she feels a lot for, but that's going to break her rules of sort of having something deeper. And besides, he's got his own stuff going on, and she doesn't want to be a burden and all this kind of thing. So we get to see their friendship and relationship develop. There's a bit of forced proximity there with a living situation. And yeah, the majority of the story is just these two people kind of will they, won't they acknowledge and admit their attraction and decide that even in the midst of this very hectic, high stakes situation of about to become parents, they actually can give a relationship a go and it might be fine.
Perfect.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good.
We get some side characters. Obviously, the best friend Sarah is there, and her husband Caleb, who sort of incidentally knew Beau, and that's how he ended up at the party. So there's sort of like a little cast of friends. And there's some family backstory stuff that goes on as well. But yeah, so that's the general plot.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, and I will just mention the kind of pregnancy thing isn't the only thing that Wynn is thinking about. She's also, when we meet her, she's also kind of just in a bit of a rut in her life.
Yes.
She's working a really casual job at a cafe somewhere that she meant to only do for a couple of years, and it's been 5 or something. And yeah, she's sort of got big dreams but kind of has let them go. is just feeling a little bit stuck. And what's cool is seeing how the pregnancy and sort of this relationship ends up being a bit of a catalyst for her to start making some other changes. So yeah, it's kind of a cool reflection on being in your late 20s, early 30s, and sort of not really knowing where you want to go with your life. And that's something I enjoyed about it. Yeah. So how does this fit then in the sort of stuff that Hannah Bonam-Young writes? What other books of hers have you read? How do you feel about her as an author? Give us the lowdown.
Perfect. Yes, so Hannah Bonam-Young, she's a Canadian author.
Oh yeah, it's set in Canada.
Yeah.
I always forget to give basic aspects of the plot, by the way. Are they in Toronto?
I think they...
Calgary?
Some Ontario.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Somewhere in Canada is where they are.
So she's a Canadian author.
Canadian
Love
author.
it.
She's a New York Times best-selling author, which I don't
for you,
actually
girl.
know what that means. Like, every author's a New York Times best-selling author.
It means that one of her books has made it to the
top of the
bestseller list
yeah.
stuck around for however long you need to stick around for.
So good on her.
Good for her.
Yes, as you mentioned earlier, she herself is disabled, so she has the same or very similar limb difference that she wrote for Wynne to have.
Oh, cool.
So she has like the same, I think it might be the same hand, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, underdeveloped hand, like small hand kind of situation.
Which is essentially her fingers are not really developed,
yes.
so she has to, we get a lot of descriptions of her having to sort of press things and hold things like that. She can't, basically it doesn't function like, with all of the use of her fingers and thumb on that hand.
Yes, yeah. So I think it's very like poignantly written, I guess, and it feels very real because Hannah Bonam-Young, HBY we might call her, she like is writing from her lived experience of this, which is really cool. So she has written 3 series of interconnected stories. So the first series she wrote was the Next series. So they're books Next to You, Next of Kin, Next Time Round. And they're so little 3 interconnected series there. I haven't read any of those ones. Then she's got the Out series, which is Out on a Limb, and a second book called Out of the Woods. So they're interconnected books. I've read both of those. And then she's got the People series, and it's People Watching, and then her next book, which is coming out soon, People Pleasing.
Ooh.
And I've read People Watching.
Interesting.
And I'll read People Pleasing when it comes out. So I've read a fair amount of her books. I really enjoy them. They're very similar. She kind of, I think, describes her books. There's like a description at the end of like the author's note, or I guess at the very end. About the author, where she describes her books as romances featuring a cast of diverse, disabled, marginalised and LGBTQIA plus folks, wherein swoon-worthy storylines blend with the beautiful, messy and challenging realities of life. And I feel like that's a perfect description of what she writes, and I think I really find her books quite compelling because of that, because they are featuring people that are familiar to me, marginalised, disabled, LGBTQIA plus folks. I'm like, that's who I see around in my life. And
absolutely.
I'm seeing them live their romantic, messy lives in these books. It's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's the second one after this then?
Out of the Woods.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I had a feeling when I was reading this, like, I thought Sarah will be happy because there's a fun cast of friends and like a few of the folks around, which is great. And when we meet a bunch of Beau / Caleb's sort of guy friends, and there's sort of like a married queer couple, a couple of other people, the guy who pretends to have a Scottish accent for a little bit, and then his like D&D group. I was like, ooh, potential characters for like another story or something. But I didn't actually look it up or know anything about it. So please.
Well, it's not about them.
Oh.
About any of them. I know.
Angus,
sorry. Angus. Yeah. Is his actual name Walter?
Yes. He like pretends to be a Scottish guy called Angus for like 5 seconds.
That was fun though.
Wynne is like,
oh my goodness.
Saucy Axie. Because she's all horny from her pregnancy hormones.
She's like, hey, and Beau's standing there like,
hello.
Hi, I'm right here.
Baby daddy right here.
Literally.
What's going on? Yeah.
Very funny. No, it's not about any of them. It's actually about Sarah and Caleb.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
The other like two main characters, which I okay no
We
I didn't think that.
can chat more about that.
Yeah, we can because I don't love her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I don't love Sarah because I don't want anyone to soundbite that and take it out of context. I love my Sarah. I didn't love her in this book, which was kind of annoying.
We can definitely talk about that.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's about Sarah and Caleb and their marriage and kind of out of the woods is the title. Are they out of the woods yet? Taylor Swift lyric drop.
Are they lost in the woods?
Are they lost in the woods?
Frozen 2 lyrics drop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
so
gosh, I love
perhaps not a super happy story for them.
Well, yeah.
Well, it
has to have a, yes,
of course.
But yes, yeah, relief, guys. It's okay. It all ends up okay.
Well, no, hopefully for Caleb.
Hopefully
She's
for Caleb. Okay, so another
to
fun fact about Out on a Limb, which I found out because I am in Hannah Bonam-Young's Instagram group chat. You know how you can add, like, authors have, like, Instagram group chats that, like, their readers can join, and you can't message in it unless they allow it. But
Yeah.
you just see them messaging, and they message updates.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of authors.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's so
wow,
cool.
look at you just sliding into Hannah's DMs. Damn.
So Hannah posted, I think it's the like anniversary soon or something. I could literally fact check that myself right now. But it was not at all. It's in a couple months. But anyway, it's been a couple of years since this book was published. And she wrote something in the Instagram group chat that I found really hilarious. She said that Out on a Limb was started as an Everlark fanfic.
Everlark, what is that?
Everdeen and Malark, so from
As in
Hunger Games, Katniss and Peeta.
Oh
and can you see it
God.
now? Because she has dark hair and he's
Yeah,
sandy blonde.
yeah.
And it's like the
And he's very
personality.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so
She's
fun.
not really a Katniss though.
She's not a Katniss. Katniss is a bit
harsher.
more. Yes.
Yeah.
But I just love that it started as an Everlark
Oh,
fic.
that's so fun. I mean, the relationship between fan fiction and romance
my
fiction
gosh, it's
is
so strong.
just, incredible.
Yeah.
Unavoidable.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all I have on that.
I'm already very excited to read more of her stuff, and I'd be interested to know which one of her books was the New York Times bestseller one.
True.
Yeah.
It may have been this one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can check.
Let me see.
Let's fact check it right now.
Hannah Bonam-Young bestseller.
And while you're looking that up, I'll just say that this book was published in 2023. July of 2023, this book came out.
Yeah, so we are almost at the anniversary. No, it was people watching.
Oh, it's so good.
Apparently it went to reached the New York Times top 5.
Good on her.
Instant bestseller, they describe it as.
Yeah. It's quite, I really like that book. I don't know if it's my favourite of hers, but it is very good.
Cute. Okay. Well, I would be interested to read more. I enjoyed it.
Yay!
Right. Well,
Review. Well, that's done. We enjoyed it.
now
And we want to read more.
that's it.
See you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. But I guess on that note, we could move into our in-depth book review now.
Let's do it.
So this section will have spoilers. So if you want to put a pause here, go read the book or something before you hear us chat about it, come back. Otherwise, get ready for some spoilers. Before we start as well, Sarah often gives a content warning for some of the themes in the books that we read. Sometimes they can be a bit heavy. And what I found was really cool about this, obviously as well, most romance authors are pretty sensitive to this sort of thing. But obviously Hannah Bonam-Young as being somebody who is writing about a community that she is a part of and representing people that she knows very well.
Yeah.
She wrote probably one of the most sensitive and lovely author's notes at the beginning of this book. It really struck me. And it has a bunch of content warnings at the bottom. So we're not going to read the whole author's note because she talks a lot about her own experience of parenthood and being a disabled parent and kind of lots of the fears and trepidations that she had about that, which are beautiful. But she has quite a comprehensive and I think accurate list of content warnings at the bottom. So I thought we could just read that out as our content warnings for the episode.
Yeah, beautiful.
Did you want to read it?
Yeah, I'm happy to read it. Thanks. Beautiful. So here are the content warnings. Graphic sexual content. Classic.
Standard.
It's a romance book.
Yeah, and graphic in the, romance positive sense rather than in, when you graphic content, it always just feels like people are getting stabbed and killed and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like
in the romance sense.
And it's consensual and beautiful. Pregnancy and symptoms of pregnancy. Brief discussion of abortion. Pro-choice stance not performed. Ableism in reference to a limb difference, verbally abusive ex-partner with no reappearance, death of a parent, past and off page. Depression and suicide, past and off page. Cancer, past, not reoccurring. And amputation, past and off page. Yeah.
So it was like, I had obviously knew a little bit about what the book was going to be about.
Yeah.
I read briefly the blurb, but didn't really have much of an idea. And then, because she doesn't give too much away in it, which is good. And then reading the content warnings, I was a little bit like, oh my God. And I was like, this is going to be so intense.
Yeah.
And there were intense moments, but actually reading through it, I really liked it. It was really heartwarming.
Yes, she did really well dealing with each of those really hard things. And I genuinely think that if she had shied away from including many of those experiences and things in these characters' past, it would have been less for it. Like, there wouldn't have been as the richness and the kind of beauty in their journey.
Absolutely.
And also, this is real. This is what happens to people in real life.
Yeah.
People go through these experiences. It's not something that is like, that we need to be afraid of talking about, I guess.
Absolutely. So that sounds like that was one of the things that you really enjoyed about the book.
I did. I absolutely loved it. I think she's probably one of the authors that has written disability the best that I've read, and I found that really just so good to read, where the disability is included as a part of who these characters are. It's also not explained or not over-explained often, which I talk about more actually in the sex scenes when we talk about the sex and intimacy.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed aspects of that. I also think for someone having chosen to write about the accidental pregnancy trope, I think it was also done really well. Yes. And I really like it. Should we talk about that?
Let's talk about the accidental pregnancy trope, because obviously it's a big part of this story. It's kind of the impetus for the main plot. But yeah, I guess like I've never read an accidental pregnancy trope before. I've heard you talk about them in some of the romance books that you've told me about. Is there one in the Elsie Silver universe?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me about that one.
Yeah, it's Reckless.
Yeah, at some point, and I was like, whatever, like, shut up, this is so dumb, and like...
So this is going to be my question for you, is how much did you know about the accidental pregnancy trope? Did you have any assumptions about what it would be like? Like, how did you feel about this trope before reading this book? And so, tell me more about that.
Yes, so I think the only exposure I had was probably you talking about that one, and you sort of being like, I didn't love how it was done, or something like that. Or
I love it.
Or no, I know you love the trope, but maybe
in that book,
story.
I love how she does it in that book. Some books I'm like, ugh, that's horrible. Like, for example, especially as a midwife, I wasn't going to say that, but especially as a midwife, personally, when the trope is like they have sex and then the very next morning she's like nauseous and she's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, girl,
you're like,
it's been one day. Your egg hasn't even been fertilized yet. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that.
That pisses me off. But anyway, the Elsie Silver one, I actually really, really like how it's done. But maybe, I don't know, maybe at the time I was just like...
It might have just been that. It might have been... You liked that one, but you're talking about something that you've read that are so stupid. And I think for me, I've never read one. I've never really thought that much about it. It sounds ludicrous. Right. Like accidental pregnancy trope. Whereas when you think about it in life, it
happens often.
It happens all the time. And it is something that many women deal with as either a concern or a desire to get pregnant, all these sorts of things. And especially for younger people, usually it's like wanting to make sure you're being safe and being protected. And yeah, so I think it's like the sort of base reaction that I have to it, or the sort of instinctive reaction I have to it, is just like maybe a lazy plot device or a bit stupid or just, in those conditions where it's like the character has sex one time the night before and by the next morning it's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, God, that's just so dumb. Yeah. I kind of, despite the fact that I read the blurb, I forgot about the pregnancy thing for this one. And I was just really wrapped up in the Halloween party and the pirateness of it all. And it was so cute. Yes. And then when it was like 6 weeks later, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to call her. And then it was like, she's at her doctor's office and her doctor's like, pregnant. You're pregnant. And I was like, oh, that's right. And I actually thought it was good. I thought it was done well. Yes. It made... it made sense. It's a 6-week gap. Yes.
The timeline is accurate.
Yes, it made sense for the circumstances of how it happened. There's like the moment I think I had a vague memory in my head. It was like, does she get pregnant when they were talking about, oh, there's no condoms in this room. Like there's normally in this drawer and like, and I was like, oh, hey, and then I just sort of like ignored it. Yeah. But I think it it didn't seem actually dumb or stupid or like really, what's the word? Not quite camp, but like kitschy and over the top and just stupid. Because it made perfect sense for the characters. The scene was played out really well with their choice to sort of not use a condom because she was on the pill. And then just that, the small but still very real chance of still getting pregnant while you're on the pill. And yeah, I thought it was done well. Yeah. And I enjoyed it more than I maybe expected to. That, again, similar to Heated Rivalry, where the sex actually happens really early in the story of these characters, and it's more about what the sex is like and how their intimacy grows. This one's the same. They have an intimate sexual connection at the beginning, but then it's like your classic romance formula after that of like growing intimacy, deciding to be more vulnerable, deciding whether or not you're going to do that again and all this sort of thing. So yeah, I actually thought it worked really well. I quite liked it.
I wonder, what do you think made it work well? Like, what is it? Because I've noticed we've both said, like, I think it was done really well. And I'm like, I have some ideas, but I'm interested what you think. Like, what was it that meant that you felt it was done well? Or like, maybe a better question is like, I don't know, what would have made it not be, what would have made you go, oh, this wasn't done well at all?
True. I guess probably like the basic fact that it didn't seem realistic or factual. So if it was like the next morning thing, I'd be like, and I think maybe what made it work well, which is what was one of the main things that I liked about this entire book.
Tell us.
Is like what you've said, you know, it was really realistic and it was really rich. I thought the characters, both FMC and MMC, were really layered and well developed. And I just thought it worked really well for where the character of Win particularly was at in her life, of sort of being like a bit stuck but like relatively happy, sort of feeling like something was a bit missing but didn't really know what that was. She's just kind of coasting along. And so she has this thing happen. The way that it happens makes sense and felt realistic and natural, a hookup at a party. And then so everything about her response to it then felt really realistic and real. And I guess it just the way that she wrote it, so her writing style as well is something that makes it work. She wrote this character in a way that I felt like I could really understand her perspective and connect with her. So again, it just seemed like real life. And, you know, her limb difference wasn't something that was like the main plot point.
Exactly.
The pregnancy wasn't something that was the main plot point.
Exactly.
Her position in her life, deciding what career she actually wanted, who she really was, living in this shit apartment but not really wanting to be there. That wasn't the main point. It was all of those things together.
Which feels like real life.
Yeah.
When you're juggling all these aspects of your life.
It's never just one thing. And it also wasn't just the romance with Bo. Obviously that's what develops over the course of the pregnancy. But I think it was she just managed to balance all of those aspects.
Even her relationship with her mum.
Which kind of pops up every now and then in the story. That was probably done less well than the other elements, but it was kind of background,
it's fine.
you know? And then the stuff with, like, we get to see her in her workplace as a lifeguard. She teaches swimming, and then we get this story of her wanting to open a summer camp for kids with disabilities. And, like, so I think what made it work was the quality of the writing and the quality of the characterization. And it's hard to describe when something is good just writing. Well. It just works. Whereas it's really easy to articulate it when it's shit. And you can pinpoint exactly why it is. So for this, it was just like, oh yeah, I came out the other side loving this story and not thinking this trope was stupid at all. So she obviously did a good job. My thoughts especially were, I completely agree. And I think what I've written down, what I found really good was both Win's and Bo's reactions to Win's pregnancy. What felt very realistic, like Win's initial reaction, like in the doctor's office being like, no, like what? And you've obviously got the wrong file.
You've got the wrong file. Winifred McNulty is a pretty common name. Like using humour to try and like cope with this massive news, and then going away and talking with her friends about it, and like that felt all really, really, really realistic. And then when she does contact Bo to tell him, and like be like, hey, do you want to catch up for coffee? And then she tells him, I'm pregnant. His reaction also felt really realistic. And he's like,
shocked and surprised, obviously, and is like wanting to know how she is and is she okay. And then he also goes, so do we get married?
Yeah.
Like
What should we do now?
He's like, nah, do we just marriage, I guess that's what we do. And she's like,
So
well,
cute.
no. And he's like, oh yeah, right, that's silly.
That's
But,
crazy.
like,
Yeah.
it's so like, it feels very real, like, and such a testament to, like you say, their characterization, that you're like, yeah, this is just two people trying to figure out this massive life change, and they don't know each other very well, and yet they're both like wanting to have this baby and wanting to make this work. I just love it.
I think what it helps too is that they're just two people, but they're people that we like.
Yes.
They're nice characters.
Yeah, they're good people.
You know, like, yeah, Bo is a sweetheart.
I love him.
Really
I think he's
lovely.
my favourite character.
Me too, definitely.
Yeah.
He's so great.
Wayne is fantastic, but there's something about Bo.
Yeah.
Something about like a really sweet, gentle, committed man that's just like, oh my
but
gosh.
not a pushover.
Nope.
Like, he's not weak, and he has all of these strengths, like emotionally,
He's very
mentally,
generous.
physically, because of course he's like jacked, as they always are.
They always have to be jacked.
But like, yeah, he's just lovely. And so I think what's nice as well, you know, thinking about that like fantasy element of romance, I
Yes.
guess, is like he is just this very sweet, lovely, capable, but not controlling man. And he's just
Another aspect of the fantasy part of romance that I thought about when I was thinking about the tropes in this book was like rich baby daddy, because he is so rich.
He's like, he's an accountant.
An accountant or like a financial advisor or
advisor.
something with money and numbers.
Yeah.
And like when he does this really sweet thing, which I thought was really lovely. So he invites Wynn to come live with him in his house because Wynn's apartment is terrible. It's up like 6 flights of stairs.
It's like a studio apartment that is like infested with mold.
It's awful.
Disgusting. It's in
And,
a
like,
bad neighborhood.
Everything's bad about it. And when the further along she gets in her pregnancy, it'll be harder to go up the stairs. But also, she wants Bo to be able to visit the child and like be like a present dad. But because of Bo's prosthetic leg, going up 6 flights of stairs is just going to be impossible. Like, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
So they're like, practically, she needs to find somewhere else to live, but she can't afford anywhere else, like a nicer apartment. And so he's like, well, here's a really easy solution. Come move in with me. And she deliberates on that for a really long time, which again, I found really good. I was like, that's also real. Like, imagine your stranger who is your baby daddy asking you to move in, and you're like, whoa, this is moving really, really quickly. Like, of course you'd take some time to think about that. It's like,
because it's interesting of like, obviously you liked him enough and trusted him enough to
sleep
be
together,
vulnerable
yes.
in having sex with him. And this is the thing that I found really interesting for both of their stories. She has this physical disability that we learn through some of her references to her previous partner, Jack, was often
belittled.
Yeah, often something that he
Yes.
would use to belittle her and be really ableist towards her, berate her.
yes.
Yeah. And so you can imagine for her being vulnerable sexually with somebody would be hard or just bring up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Bo is a cancer survivor who we learn from this first interaction. This is the first time he's had sex with somebody since he's had his prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
So the stakes are really high.
The stakes
from
are
the
really
beginning.
high for both
like,
of them.
This is not a hookup.
No,
this is
not realistic. Yeah.
Not a one night stand
No.
thing. Like, this is actually.
Even Wynn says that. She's like, I would love this to be more.
Yeah.
But I've already said I only do casual. And so Bo's respecting that. And so it's like, oh.
Yeah, but even in the way that they treat each other in that encounter, it's not
so
it's
tender
not
and
this
lovely.
like sort of just
Yes.
physical, scratching an itch kind of thing, which is often how the hookup one night
yes.
stand is presented. So like, she does know him, and she has, by lieu of this experience, a very intimate connection with him.
Yes.
Like, she has seen him in a way that no other person has ever seen him.
Yeah.
And thankfully, because of our HEA, no one will ever see him that way again except her. So it's huge, it's massive.
It's massive.
And yet still the thought process of like, but I don't actually know him that well.
Yes.
Is this connection that we feel enough for me to be safe in his house? And like, he's going to have all the money
Yes.
and the home, and I'm just going to be kind of trapped in this situation.
And because
like,
that
what
was
if it goes
essentially
wrong?
what happened with her ex, where she was paying for a lot of the things, but it was his house, and he would yell at her if, she didn't have dinner. Like, it was actually pretty horrific, the stuff that she was recalling from her relationship. So of course she also has a lot of the fear of like, is this going to repeat itself if I go move in here? And I also found that very realistic, because like, as a trauma survivor, that's what you're doing. You're always scanning for danger. Even if there are clearly much more support around them, like Sarah and Caleb live a lot closer, and Sarah's like, if anything happens, you just come move in with us.
Yeah.
Like
you have, she has a safe place, you have an exit strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. And yet Win is still scared, but she's brave and she does it.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. And then when she does move in, she's like, I want to pay rent, I want to pay bills, like I want to be contributing to this household. I want to feel like I'm able to, I feel like I'm here and I'm, contributing. And Bo I think this is really sweet, and it shows a lot of his character, and it felt very right given his job that he does up this spreadsheet of like basically like his percentage of the income is, or his income is this much, her income is this much, and so therefore their contributions to the household income should be
like a reflection
of the percentages. And so basically she's paying like way less than he is, and she's like, no, I'm having none of it. No, I want it to be fair and even. And Bo's like, you're the one growing the baby. Like, it's never going to be fair and even because you're doing this. Like, your body is doing this. And I was like, yes, Bo!
I know.
But also
so
I was
sweet.
like, how rich are you? Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's another thing of like something that could have felt a bit gross and a bit like, oh, she's just this little woman who needs to be saved by this
woman.
rich,
she keeps saying, you want a kept woman, don't you, as a joke? Yeah,
but like saved by this rich baby daddy. And like, again, because of the way that Hannah Bonam-Young writes and the genuineness of the characters and the fact that they are, like, they do treat each other as equals, and that's reflected in their dialogue and the way that they interact, it doesn't feel gross. No. It feels really nice. And it's kind of like, if you were in this situation in real life, dream scenario.
Oh gosh,
dream person to do this with.
Beautiful house, beautiful man, plenty of money, security, healthcare, all the good things.
Yeah. And it's just like, overnight she kind of, it's almost like overnight from the pirate party or from when she finds out she's pregnant, she's essentially like, she's going to get everything she's ever dreamed of. She just doesn't know it yet. Yeah. Or even when she does know it, it's still just, the tension is her deciding to like reach out and take it and step into it.
Yes.
Where it's like wild to see the circumstances change so quickly for a character.
Yes.
And her to kind of realize it as well. Yeah. And sort of be happy and excited about it, but then be like, ooh,
is this gonna stick? Is this it's actually really good. Okay, so now another question for you.
Okay.
Is there anything you didn't like?
Really, I was like struggling when I was journaling about it. I was trying to think. I think the only thing I didn't like was just the character of Sarah. Yeah. But only little bits of her, because she had her moments. So she's sort of set up for Win as like they've been friends forever because their mums were friends.
They basically grew up as sisters.
Yeah, they grew up together for a period of time. Yeah, because both their mums were kind of single mums doing it tough, so they kind of lived together and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I liked that like best friends aspect of the mums and also of Win and Sarah. And I get as well that they were trying to set them up as being slightly different people. So Win is like smart, witty, fun, like, the dialogue in this book is
so good.
It's the banter, good. The banter and the chemistry.
My gosh, so good.
I have so many quotes that I wrote down that I loved. Very funny. But she's quite kind and you know, nice. Whereas Sarah is like similar, but she's a lot more acerbic and she's quite sharp. And I think just like part of it, I was a little bit like, I get why you've been created like this. And you're sort of, she's a bit more pushy than Win. She's a little bit more, you know, takes the reins. And she, talk about a kept woman, she doesn't work. They don't want to have kids. They're so rich for whatever reason. Yeah. And they live in this huge house. And so she just kind of like hosts parties and does fun things. She doesn't work, does she?
No, she doesn't work.
No, she doesn't work. And like, there was just something about her and the way that she was then that just kind of bothered me. And she just was a little bit too much, a little bit too sharp. And then there are a few specific moments, right, where she's actually quite unkind. Quite unkind to her husband, Caleb, who is, it's almost sweet. Like they're the more extreme versions of Bo and Win. Because Caleb is much more submissive and quiet and sweet than Bo is. But at the base, they're kind of similar. And Sarah is a lot more assertive and kind of rude than Win is. They're like the... you know, taken 2 extra steps. And so I really didn't like the way she treated him, especially with the D&D stuff.
I've literally written that down. Yeah. Sarah making fun of Bo and, well, mostly Caleb playing D&D. Not cool.
Yeah. So do you want to explain that scene?
Yes, absolutely. So after Win has moved in with Bo is like, hey, is it cool if I have some friends over just to play a game? And Win is like, absolutely, of course. And so Bo invites a bunch of friends over. They play a game of D&D together monthly. And to Win's massive surprise, Caleb is one of the friends that Bo has over. And Caleb had not told his wife Sarah or Win, who were their dear friends.
Like, Caleb and Sarah have been together since high school, right? So Win also knows Caleb super
like
well.
Brothers.
They're like besties, yeah.
Brothers?
Bros.
They're bros. They're bros, dude. Basically,
Brother and sister.
Like brother and sister. They're very close friends. And so Win is like, what the fuck? What have you been telling Sarah? Does Sarah know you where you are? And Caleb's like, well, I basically just tell her that I go to the gym. And it's like, okay, cool, Caleb. Not great to lie to your wife. However, he's like, please don't tell Sarah. Please just give me this one thing. Like, she's going to make fun of me if she knows that this is what I'm doing. And I just want to have this one time with my friends.
Not even just like she'll make fun of me in the moment. It'll be ongoing. Every single day, single week, she will find some way of working it into a joke where she'll prod him about it and I'm like, what a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrible. Your husband,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like, if when you first find out, you're like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Then you like get over it and move on because like it makes him happy and he loves it.
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
And also D&D is really cool.
D&D is amazing.
It's so fun.
And requires so much intelligence and thought and creativity.
Yes. It's like, so cool.
And I just think that like that really stunk for me of just that such an old school way of seeing something like that. It was like, oh, like what a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I didn't realize we were in a fucking frat, college movie from the early 2000s.
Exactly.
Like, shut up.
It was horrible. And even Win, I didn't like Win there either because she was like making fun a little bit as well. And I was like,
and trying not to laugh in his face while he's like begging her, please don't tell Sarah because she's going to ruin this for me. And Win's like,
and then Win's like, sorry, but I have to. And I was like, oh my goodness.
No, she says, no, I won't say anything. She's kind of like, he's like, please don't tell her, please don't. And she's like, okay,
but
sure.
She has and then she goes and calls Sarah.
Fingers crossed. And then she immediately texts Sarah and is like, oh my God, come and get your husband. Guess what he's doing right now?
And Sarah comes and they are just awful about it. And then, you know what, they end up sitting down and watching the D&D game. They get really into it and they're on board and like, whatever, great.
And then the whole thing is resolved because Sarah actually loves it. And actually, it really turns her on.
And it's like,
and she's like, oh, maybe we can role play. And like, she's this hypersexualized kind of thing. And I was just like, no, you don't get to smooth over this that quickly. Like, that was really shit.
And go talk to your husband and apologize.
Yes.
And he should be like, I'm sorry I lied to you, but the underlying thing was there's this issue between us that I feel like I can't show you my interests and can't be vulnerable with you about things that I enjoy because you're going to make fun of me. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he can't be a whole person.
Yeah.
And I think particularly, like, which now it's super interesting in light of the fact that the next book is about them. It feels almost like he hasn't been able to change and develop as a person in any way that doesn't totally complement her and what she wants.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you've known each other since you were like 15, 16 or whatever. You've been dating since that time.
Yeah.
This guy is going to pick up different interests and different things that he likes to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you should be a partner in that. You should be journeying with him.
And he
I just
fully supports her. And
everything she does. He is her biggest cheerleader.
Everything. He's there for her every single time, and for Win, like, not just because they've known each other, but also because Win means so much to Sarah. So it's like, this is it really bugged me. I think Caleb is also one of my favorite characters where I was like, he deserves better.
He does deserve
and I have
better.
read the second book, and so like I know I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there is a lot that they have to go through together as a couple to kind of get out of the woods.
That would be interesting to read, because I've highlighted a line here. This is one of the annotations that I made. So it's in that scene, and it's Win and Caleb are talking, I think in the kitchen or whatever, where he's begging her, like, please not to tell Sarah. And then he says, I love my wife more than anyone. You know that. I also know that mocking is her way of showing love. So he's being so fucking gracious to her. Like, what is
I hate that. Mocking is never a way of showing love. I actually hate it.
Yeah. And it's like negging somebody. We've said this before on the pod.
Yes.
Negging someone is not a way of showing your love. No. That's a way of you.
It's undermining.
You've got some fucking shit going on and you need to deal with that. Ugh, anyway, and he's so gracious towards her, even saying to other people, I know that this is just how she is and she's showing how she loves me. And then he says, it's one of my favorite things about her. this is the telling part, when I'm not on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd like to avoid it if I can. I'd like to maintain some level of cool. So they sort of try to palm it off as like, oh, I know that she's like, and it's so great, and like I love her, and she's so funny.
It's hilarious, but as long as it's not me. Yeah.
As long as it's not me. I thought that line was so telling. I was like, no, he knows that she's toxic, and that's awful.
Yeah.
It's just that, and it's that survivor's attitude of like, well, as long as I'm not the brunt of it, then I won't say anything.
Yeah.
So, and I know I can't say anything when I am the brunt of it, so please just don't let her know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's so sad.
Literally, my annotation was Sarah sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking hate her. She
I was like, this is not cool. This is not good. I really didn't appreciate Win either for being like, if I was Win in that situation, I probably would have been like, look, Sarah should know about this and you guys need to talk about it, but I'm staying out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one to tell Sarah. You should be the one to tell Sarah. You guys need to figure this out.
And it's also an interesting thing too of like, and I don't know, maybe I might think differently on this sort of spending more time with married friends or whatever, or then getting married myself, but like I don't know if Win's sort of role as Sarah's best friend should trump or interfere what's going on between like Sarah and her husband. And I guess it's the husband asking her to not say something, so it's like asking someone to keep a secret is never really a good idea, but like there's a kind of a competing loyalties thing there, and I'm just a little bit like, come on, Win, Caleb's your friend also.
Exactly.
And you should have just said, you need to talk to her about this, I'm staying out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but that was probably the only thing that I didn't like. What about you? Did you have anything else?
I had exactly that scene. And then I also felt, and this may have just been the attitude and the headspace that I was in when I was reading it, but I felt like it dragged at the end. It also may be because this is a reread for me. But once they had like confessed their love to each other at the end, and it was very beautiful, I felt like we had like the equivalent to like 3 or 4 epilogues. I was like, it could have finished, because then it was like, she was like 28 weeks pregnant or something which is like 7 months, when they like confess their love to each other, and then it continues on until the end of the pregnancy. Time jumps a little bit, but they have like a baby shower, and then they have a thing about the birth, and then there's an epilogue about the wedding, and then there's an epilogue. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh,
I forgot that they get married?
Yeah.
I forgot that they got married.
Because there's another epilogue. So
other epilogue is then like
the
how
10
many
years
years
later
in the future, and they have 3 children.
They have 4
all girls. No, they have 3.
3.
And he's like, let's have another one. And she's like, we already can't
like, oh my
fit
goodness,
in this house.
Exactly. So, but it just dragged on a bit for me, because I was like, all of that, the 10-year time jump is like the last epilogue, and then there's like a bonus chapter, which is their wedding, where it goes back.
I don't think I had the bonus chapter. That's why I was like, did they get married?
Yeah, there's a bonus chapter in my one.
What? So this is me getting stitched up again by the e-version, the e-reader.
So basically, while you see if you did have it there, I just felt that
I just have epilogue acknowledgements also by.
Oh, yeah.
About the author.
It dragged on a bit for me, where I was like, I get that the bonus chapter probably came a year or so after the book came out, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet, we get to read it. But for me, on rereading it, I was just like, this book should have ended 4 chapters ago. And again, that may be because I was rereading it, or my headspace, but that was the only other thing I didn't like, which is purely a personal thing, nothing to do with the writing, nothing other people may be like, I just want more, and so they'd love the fact that there was essentially 4 epilogues. But
interesting, I think for me, with not having read the wedding chapter, I didn't feel as much, but I do take your point that I think I like it when we get a little bit, because I don't love when them getting together is the very final thing. Yeah. So I think...
Yeah, I like to see a little bit of their life afterwards and how they manage that. And I do like that we got to see, like the baby shower meant that we got to see her mum interacting with her.
Yeah, so the baby shower, we could have had baby shower.
And birth.
And then baby shower and birth, or baby shower and then 10 years later. Because I actually liked the 10 years later thing. It was borderline a bit like, okay, like everything wrapped up in a little bow. Like here we are, like sapping.
In a little bow.
Yeah. Of like very sappy classic romance sort of stuff, where I was like, all right, stop laying it on so thick.
Yes.
But I also liked seeing where their relationship was. They had these other children, like Gus August, who is the child that she's pregnant with throughout the story, is 10 years old and quite a little personality, and so that was quite sweet.
They're going to a Halloween party and they're all going to dress up as pirates. Except this year, Gus, in her little personalityness, has said that she doesn't want to. She wants to go as a ghost. And I like that she's like, how would you feel if I cut up a sheet? And Wynn's like, have you already done it?
Did you already do it?
You already cut it up.
Yeah. And but what I also liked about that it maybe saved the epilogue from being too overly sappy, was it like they're still living in the house, and it was sort of like, it's a 2-bedroom house, and there's five of them. And he's like, let's have another baby. Like, I love this so much. And he's like a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
She's running the camps, all that kind of stuff.
It's very sweet. It is very sweet. But I was just like, oh my God, we've got so many of these.
Yeah.
We've got the birth as well. And I was just like, bleh.
Well, without the wedding chapter, I think it works nicely.
Yeah. The wedding chapter, I don't know. Just
maybe it's just too much.
This is too much.
That's bonus chapter.
It is a bonus chapter.
In my format, maybe then it works well then.
Yeah. There we go. That's what we didn't like.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably everything that we maybe liked and didn't like. So should we move on now to talk about the romance and the intimacy?
Yes, let's do it.
So another warning, we're going to talk kind of more in depth about the sex scenes. As usual, I think there will be, certainly from me, some banned phrases.
Oh, I have some too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this section is going to be fairly graphic. We're going to quote some things that you may not like. So if you don't want to hear that, or if you want these scenes to be kept a secret, pause here and skip ahead to the next chapter.
Yep.
All right. So in general, Sarah, how did you feel about the sex, the intimacy, and the general kind of romance in this book?
I liked it.
Yeah.
For the most part. I've given it a 3 out of 5 spiciness.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just going straight in with my rating there. 3 out of 5 spiciness, because I feel like it's definitely not the most spicy that I've read, and there's only a handful of scenes, like comparative to, say, Heated Rivalry, where it was a sex scene every single freaking chapter. It's very much not that. We've got the one night stand at the very, very beginning, like in the first couple of chapters, and then they don't actually have sex again. I don't think they even really kiss again until like 75% of the way through the book.
Yeah.
It's like page 330 something. In my e-reader. So like there's only a handful of sex scenes, so that brings the spice rating down for me. But the scenes are hot. I found them, I still have the jail phrases though. There were some of them where I was like, HBY, no, don't use that word.
HBY, don't do this.
Stop it. But I really like, so here's what I was going to say earlier. With the sex scene, especially at the very beginning, it does happen again later on, but especially at the beginning, that one night stand sex scene, I really love that both of their disabilities are worked into the sex scene without being like you said, like the main point or too obvious or over-explained. There's moments where Bo, like we said, like this is his first time having sex since the amputation, since having his prosthetic leg. So it's a huge deal for him.
Massive.
Both to be desired as he is, which Wynn does a really good job, I think, of like showing that she is turned on by him and wants to do this with him no matter how it's going to happen. And then also important for him, like logistically, like how's this going to work? And so then he at one point I think is just sitting back against the bed, and it's like, oh yeah, of course he's going to be sitting or laying down for most of this, because I don't know if he takes his prosthetic off. I don't think he takes the prosthetic off at that point.
I think in one of the later sex scenes
he takes his prosthetic off.
At that point he's like, no, it's, you know, because he doesn't really know.
Yes.
Can I do this with it on? Do I need to take it off? Like,
what's going to be more comfortable?
Yeah, totally.
But also just knowing that for him, standing up or being on top, like, probably not going to work with the prosthetic. So, but again, none of that's explained. That's left for the reader just to understand from what he's doing. Like, he maneuvers himself to be sitting on the back of the top of the bed, like, you know, like things like that, where I was like, beautifully done.
Wynn herself does that kind of subtle reading of his positioning of himself and that kind of thing. And it made me really, really appreciate and really think about that as well, of like, obviously she's a fictional character, so she can be written any way she likes, but it makes sense to me that she is probably one of the only people that would know to read his body language in this way and look for these signs, because she has lived her whole life with a physical disability. So that's what I thought was just so beautiful about the matching of these two characters, is she's had a disability since birth. He's someone that has experienced this much later in his life. And so she can kind of, there's some moments where she sort of forgets. And she's then like, oh shit, like, you know, so she's still just a human. But for the most part, she is so attuned to all these things, and she can kind of almost help teach him in a way, but none of it feels preachy, none of it feels like, oh, she has to show him the way. Like, it's just these very subtle little things.
They're learning from each other.
Yeah, that she does, where it's like, oh yeah, of course, yep, okay, so I'm just going to be like this, and we're going to do it like this way. We're going to maneuver this way. They don't even verbalize it in a lot of the scenes, and it's just, I agree, I thought it was done so well. It helped to make the sex still very sexy and hot, because, you know, what I think is so interesting, and I think about it a lot with the books that we read and just like in general, like consent is so important.
Of course.
Verbalizing what you want and what you don't want, what
Yes.
you feel comfortable with, like all of that stuff is so important when you're being intimate with somebody.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, talking too much about the logistics of stuff can often be very unsexy,
Yeah.
or take you out of it, or, you know, maybe be triggering, or get in your head too much, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just think that that was like really nice.
Yeah.
That two characters that would probably need to talk a lot about stuff or have a lot going on in their head,
Yes.
especially Bo, that like HBY gave them this like really sexy, really fun time that was also sensitive, appropriate,
Yeah.
and just like really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really
liked
nice.
it. And even for when, like, she had these insecurities around her hand, that her previous partner had been like, no, don't touch me with that hand. Like, kind of disgusted by her limb difference, which is horrific.
Yeah.
And so at one point she's like caressing or like holding the back of Beau's head and like into his hair with her small hand. And she
then she's like,
gets in her head about it, and she
Yeah.
moves her hand away, and she's like, oh my goodness, because her ex used to hate that. And then Beau's like, no, I liked that, do it again. And it's just like,
Yeah.
he's not, I don't think he's saying it's good to be like performative and be like, I love your little hand, like it's the like,
or he's
it's
not
fetishizing
it.
fetishizing it. He's just like, no, I like that, like don't pull away from me, like it's
Yeah.
good. And then when she's like trying to undo his buttons, I think, and she can't, it's difficult because of her hand, she's going really slowly, and he's just like, yeah, take your time. And then he starts undoing her top slowly,
Also really slowly.
and she's
Yeah.
like, she realizes he's doing that to match her pace, not because he could do it faster. He's got two hands that would be able to do that, but he's going slower to match her pace. And she's like, that's really hot.
Yeah.
Like, she loved that.
It's really nice.
There was so many aspects, and then he kisses her hand at one point because he like, it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
And for like a one night stand where they don't know each other, they are essentially strangers.
And maybe that's the most unrealistic part of this
Yeah.
whole story, is that like that either of them could walk away after that and not talk for 6 weeks. Like, come on. And like, I know we get Win being a little bit like, no, I don't, like, wow, that was really great, but like my rules. But then she also says some line later that I highlight, and I was like, ugh. She was like, oh, well, if it meant so much to you, because she's obviously sort of downplaying a little bit of like, he obviously didn't care that much, he's still hung up on his ex, like la 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 la, when she's basically just trying to find reasons to hold on to not
because she's
be
scared
with
of how
him.
big her feelings
She's very
are.
scared, yeah. She's kind of like, oh, but you left straight after the thing. And I like highlighted it and was like, yeah, babe, because you asked him to.
You said,
and our boy understands consent.
Exactly. And so he did exactly, he respected what you asked.
Like, he was fucking in love with you.
Yes.
After kissing you, let alone after having this beautiful, tender, so supportive, so like life-changing sexual experience. But he still got up and left because he was like, she told me that she wanted this. I am listening to the woman, and I will respect her, and I will leave the room. And I was like, come on.
Yes. And even after, so they have these things like 20 questions to fall in love, these like cards to get to know each other, which I thought was quite cute. And one of the questions is like, what is the most meaningful sexual experience you've ever had? And they both answer that night was the most meaningful. And I'm like, Win, how can you not like see that he's like so into you? Anyway.
At that point, I was like, why aren't you together? Like, this is so dumb. Yeah. So that was a bit funny.
Anyway.
Sidebar though, just on, before we get back to like more explicitly about the sex, I just wanted to mention, because I didn't really say it super clearly in the what I liked about the book part, but it's relevant here, of just like, of all of this nuanced, interesting, like almost ethical situations that these characters get placed in, and how much they're thinking of the other person and thinking about how to behave. But at no point did it feel preachy or performative. Yeah. So all of the stuff around their disabilities and their ability to then have sex with each other, be together, do daily tasks, then Win's pondering over whether or not she's going to keep the pregnancy.
Yep.
Pondering about what it's like to be a parent.
Yes.
And then just like, them reflecting on their own lives, and Beau reflecting on his like cancer story, like all of that. I was just like, this is so, like, I could feel the author putting these characters in these situations to be like, I wonder how they would feel like this, and what choice do they make, and who's to say what's the right choice. But at no point did I feel like any of it was performative or any of it was preachy.
Exactly.
And I was like, that is a rare gift to be able to do that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Because I thought that was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the sex is very indicative of that. And yeah, I just think as someone that has experienced something similar, like I am a cancer survivor myself, and I just really appreciated that part of Beau's story of being someone that didn't have this disability and then these physical limitations and then all of these, you know, fears inside of him that didn't happen for him from birth.
Yes.
That, you know, Wynne still struggled through learning how to live, and she still experiences discrimination and all of these difficulties. But I really liked how Beau's kind of shock and just kind of rebirth into this world as this like new person essentially was handled. And I connected very strongly to the conversation that they had when they were talking. I don't know if it was when she first told him that she was pregnant. It might have been further down, where he like mentions a little bit like, oh, she's talking about, I wonder if the baby's going to get my small hand. And they, again, that interesting moment that she has where she realizes that the baby doesn't have her small hand.
And she feels some relief.
She feels relief, but then also like sadness, because she's like, I wanted the baby to be just like me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what a narcissist. And, you know, she goes through all these things. I
really like how complex those thought processes were for Wynne.
It was
and
so
then
cool.
she and Beau talk about it, and he's like, no, I felt similarly. Like, I felt relief, but then I felt bad for feeling relief. Like, disability is not something to feel ashamed about. And they would have loved that baby whether or not that baby had a limb difference.
Yeah, and there's that nice thing as a parent to be able to like share a really close experience and connection with your child by like, hey, I can teach you how to live because you have the same difference as me. But then also that being like, oh, they're their own person and they're separate from me. And great complex thought processes. Yes. And for Beau, I guess the equivalent of that I felt for him that I wanted more of, actually, like would have loved more of his point of view on this was like, is he going to pass down his genetically, like pass down his cancer to his child and this kind of genetic predisposition for this and all these sorts of things. And it's kind of mentioned once where they're talking about it and she's like, oh, you know, maybe the baby will get this. And he's like, yeah, or cancer. Like, like what a lovely heritage we leave our children. And yeah, I really felt that. And I thought that was done well. I wanted a bit more of that.
And like you said, I think off pod, but like maybe we would have gotten more if we'd had chapters from Beau's perspective.
Certainly. I think that would have been a lot of fun. I think it wasn't necessary. I think everything was great the way it was done, but I definitely would have loved to hear more of that. But it would have been, maybe that was also the one thing. It was a bit kind of, you're like, nah, the story's over by the first time they hook up, you know, like, for him to have gone through what he's gone through, and it's tied up in his failed relationship as well that he still needs to get closure on. And then to have this extremely visible physical change to his body, and then he has this sexual encounter with this woman, it's like, you don't
just move on from that.
Yeah. And you don't be like vulnerable with somebody in that way without a lot of trepidation, I think, and without kind of it being like, it's like a massive deal is basically what I'm trying to say. It's a huge thing. And I think, that might be where it's like, actually the whole book is kind of ludicrous and unrealistic because like as if they wouldn't just instantly be together after that. But also I thought it was handled really well and done well. And I liked the way it gave them both a lot of agency and healing, I think, after that. Yeah. So it was very nice.
Yeah.
And still sexy.
Any other thoughts about the sex scenes and intimacy before we get into the jail phrases?
No, other than just like, it was really nice and I thought quite hot.
Yes.
Like actually one of the lines in that first sex scene, because they're at a party at Sarah and Caleb's house.
It's like after the party's kind of
it's winding down.
But like people are still there.
Yeah, and Wynne is staying the night there and she has a guest bedroom upstairs because, of course, Sarah and Caleb are super rich and they have this massive house. And so it's kind of this thing of like, we want to go upstairs together and have sex, but also there's still people here, so we can't just like go upstairs together. So like, you know, I'm going to go up and you come up after me or whatever. And anyway, and there's a bit of a backwards and forth of like, are we really going to do this? Like when they're both making jokes about their disabilities and they're both saying all this kind of stuff. And anyway, he makes, what are they talking about? So they're like chatting about it And then she can kind of see that he's getting a little bit in his head, and she's also like, is this guy going to be too nice?
She doesn't want him to be too nice because of her disability.
Yeah,
his
she's
disability,
just like,
everything.
you know, like, fuck me, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, I need you to promise me that we'll both enjoy tonight.
Oh, I like this line.
I've had a string of lousy hookups this year, and if I have to fake another orgasm, I think I'll be legally required to become a nun or something. And
She's so funny. And then I love Bo's line here.
He's kind of like, Win, if you walk out of that room sturdier than me, I won't be happy. And she's like, a leg joke, be still my beating heart. And she's like gasping and laughs, and she goes, you did not. And he goes, I did. And then he sort of relaxes back on the couch, raises his hand back to my hair again, playing with it as his eyes fall yet again to my lips with equal measures of desire and amusement. And he goes, now, go upstairs and wait for me. And I was like, oh my God, so sexy.
I just also love that he made a joke about his leg in a very sexy way, where he's like, if you walk out steadier than me,
like,
I'm not going to be happy about that.
Exactly. So yeah, I thought it was sweet, it was tender, it was like healing and beautiful, and also really sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some parts of it, like there was some of the like, you know, it wasn't like rough sex, but there were some bits where they sort of spoke to each other in a slightly more rough way that I was like, nah, this is not for me.
This is not,
but
yeah.
I still found it like,
great,
yeah,
good on him.
Still found it enjoyable.
Yeah. All right, jail phrases, let's go.
So that being said,
we still had phrases and words that we did not enjoy.
Did I have phrases and words? I need to do a whole like change of accessories because I have so many to read and I need them on hand.
Yep. Okay, you've got a whole long list. I have 5.
Yeah,
but
so I have a bunch that are like, again, the classic like phrases or words that I'm like, absolutely not. And then I have about 3 that are like long sentences.
Yes,
it's
I have
almost,
a sentence.
Yeah, it's almost like positioning, phrasing, scene set, all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, all of it, fucked. So,
okay, I'm so excited to hear yours.
Do you want to do yours first?
I'll do mine first because I feel like there'll be... Okay, to be honest, when I was reading this, I kind of forgot that we were going to be reviewing it. And so I actually had to go back and reread the sex scenes and find the things I didn't like. And so I probably haven't found as many as if I had been actually paying attention. So that's on me. Okay, I have 3 from the first sex scene, from the one night stand. Okay?
Yep.
The first one is on, some of them are on page 39 and then it's page 40. And again, that's just where it is on my thing, but it might be different. Okay, I have shaft.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Yuck.
Shaft.
I have wet pop.
Oh.
She's like...
I don't have that one.
She takes him out of it and it's just like with a wet pop and I was like, yuck. And another similar one, wet entrance.
Oh, I had that one.
I just was like, no thanks.
You're like,
no thank you. Don't like that. And
Should I read my words before you do your
words
sentence?
and then I'll do my sentence. I have 4 actually, but the 4 is kind of 5. So yeah, anyway, go.
So I didn't have wet pop or shaft. I did have my wet entrance.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck no.
No.
So this is the whole string of these.
Oh.
Makes his way down to my center.
What?
It's just the my center. I'm just
center,
like, it's just clinical weird. My wet entrance.
Yeah, yuck.
We then have another my entrance later. Against my core.
Oh, why
Kissing my throbbing sex.
No. Yuck. Oh my goodness.
Like, she's running out of ways to describe her clitoris, I guess, but like, kissing my throbbing sex?
Yuck.
Fuck off.
Horrible.
That is really like some Mills and Boone shit. Like, that's 1980s level stuff. A classic reoccurring felon here. Slit.
I hate it.
This one, I was like, oh my God, another one of these. Where we're joined.
Oh.
Was this
I
was,
think that was
Love Light Farms?
Yeah.
Luca and...
Yes.
What's her name?
Yep.
Stella. Stella and Luca were holding their, like, something down to where we're joined, and we had these images of them in monkey grips.
Monkey grips.
Oh, God.
Or like, oh no.
Pistons into me.
Oh. Ow!
When he's having sex with her so hard, apparently he's pistoning into her, and I was like,
it sounds like machinery too at that point, which I just like. I'm like, no thanks.
oh God. And then this one is borderline on a bigger sentence, but they're all from like this, one sex scene. I think it's
later on in the book.
Later on in the book, and then what does he say? As Bo pushes his cum back in with 2 fingers.
No. I think there's a line after that where it's like, as if he would get me pregnant again if he could. And I was just like, no! No.
I'm not sure why I find it so hot, but I do. There's something so primal about it.
Yuck.
Him wanting to fill me, even though I'm already pregnant.
Exactly, stop. Yeah, no. Stop it, turn it off. Turn off the cameras, I hate it.
Disgusting.
I'm done. Okay, can I tell you my one? Because I think it's similar to
the long sentences.
The long sentence, okay.
Hit me.
Oh, I actually don't want to read it out loud. It's so bad. Okay.
Look, I've already read it. I can handle it.
Okay.
Maybe.
Then I feel his warmth spill into me, sending me further into bliss. I was just like, what? No!
Shut up. Further into bliss. Okay.
I think it was the warmth as well. I was just like, yeah, spill.
Spill. It's spill for me.
Spill into... Okay.
He shivers on a long exhale, hissing as I come up after gagging. Bo traces a finger around my wet entrance, and instantly I feel myself flutter in anticipation.
What? No! So many words
so
there
she's
that I
been
can't
giving
do.
him head, and just he shivers on a long exhale, hissing
He's like a cat.
as I come up after gagging.
Gagging?
Baby, like don't be
do
talking
that.
about gagging.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yuck. Okay.
Straight to jail.
And any more? I'm so uncomfortable.
I have two more.
Oh no.
They are gross. I'm just trying to find them. Yeah, because this is just an abbreviated version of my outrage. They're in that one, the gagging, was in the first sex scene. And then all of the other ones are in the later sex scene.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, again... Because I was like, I thought that she was giving him head, but he is giving...
No, I think it's her.
Yeah. And, you know, he hums as he presses his mouth against me, sending a shudder up my spine, blah, blah, blah. I sit up and watch as his eyes roll back into his skull before they close tight.
I was like, what the fuck? Is he having a seizure?
Is he okay? Like, eyes roll back, like, and I was like, I was like trying to like make my eyes roll back, and I was like, why is that sexy for you? He looks like he's dying.
Yeah. Someone should go check on Bo.
Disgusting.
Oh my gosh. Okay, last one.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of this.
I'm actually quitting the pod. I hate it. I'm quitting the fucking pod. It's done. Yep. Oh, your last one. I was waiting for you. I thought you had one more.
No, sorry.
I'm trying to find it.
No, my two were like sending me further into bliss and warmth spill into me. It's in the same sentence. And I just had a full stop.
Here's where Shaft is. Okay.
Oh, no. Wait, is this in a later sex scene?
No, this is earlier again.
Oh, yeah, because the shaft was in...
Yeah, it was the eyes rolling back into the skull, the gagging. No. And then I knew there was a third one, but it was hidden. It's back into their first night, first sex scene together. And it's where the shaft comes from. Oh, God. Anyway... They're trying to banter and chat while they're having sex. And she says something about, like, you know, I glare up at him, but, you know, strangely, it doesn't have the same effect while his dick is hitting the back of my throat.
Oh, what?
I continue working him over, pressing my tongue flat against him and tracing the veins along his shaft.
No.
I was like,
we don't need to know that much detail.
The veins.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't want his dick hitting the back of your throat. I don't want you gagging.
No.
I don't want to hear about any of this.
No.
It's disgusting. And you know what's really frustrating for me is that in the lead up to the sex scene, into all their banter, she actually says, because they're talking about actually one of my favorite scenes, the whole section, is his dick is huge.
Right.
That is actually the 4 words that open chapter 4.
Yes.
Bo's dick is huge, which I was like, this is hilarious.
Funny.
And they have a whole exchange. She's like, I
don't know what to do with this. This is my cause of death.
But I do, yeah. And he's like,
stop just talking. It's like, he gets
she goes, this dick is going to murder me.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh my God. And she's like, do your hands get tired of it while holding it while you pee? And he's like, I'm going to leave. I'm leaving.
It's funny.
And she's like, sorry, don't leave. I'll solve it. And he goes, it's not a Rubik's Cube, it's my penis. And she goes, can you not say penis? It's not a particularly sexy word. And I was like, preach, babe. But like, why are you saying gagging and shaft and veins? Like, practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach. Exactly. Well, I'm glad we got through that. Done. All right, shall we do a little palate cleanser with some of our favourite quotes?
Yes, let's. I also think it's hilarious that in a book where we both really enjoyed the sex and thought that it worked really well for the characters, there was so much that was disgusting. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bo's dick is huge is one of my favourite quotes, just because of its audacity as a chapter opener.
Yeah, I have a favourite quote also from that early chapter, which is dry humping is so underrated.
They were just so cute and just whimsical. Like, they were having a fun time.
Yeah, it was very cute.
I had one from a little bit later, which I just thought was quite sweet, where she was, because one of Wynn's things that she likes is to always take a bath.
Oh, true.
And she's kind of repeating some wisdom that her mum told her. When in doubt, take a shower. When in trouble, take a bath.
I like that. Cute. I like that. This was a funny one, which was about halfway through, or like 3/4 of the way through the book, where she's advancing in the pregnancy. She's quite hungry because of the pregnancy hormones, and she says, if our food doesn't arrive soon, I'm going to eat my other hand. And then Bo says, don't be ridiculous, you can eat mine, it's far bigger.
It's far bigger.
And I was like, that's really cute and sweet. They're little jokes together.
So good.
Yeah.
There was one that I really liked where they go to the sonogram appointment.
Oh yeah,
I think there's 2 of them, so it might be the first one.
Yeah.
And they meet some couple in there, and there's some, quite self-righteous, like very proud woman who's,
he's like, this is my 12th child.
Yeah, I've had so many babies. 12. Anyway, it says, she places a hand with a diamond ring so large on her stomach that I worry about the load-bearing weight of her placenta.
Placentas can take a lot.
Yeah.
Just from, my experience.
Women can take a lot. Pregnancy is a lot.
That rock must have been very huge.
Any more for you?
I have one more, but it's a very sweet, nice one. It's right at the end where we haven't even talked about this character, but where Wynn has been chatting with Beau's dad, Robert.
I wrote him down as one of my favourites.
He's one of my favourites too.
He was so sweet.
Robert. That's how I kept saying it because he's like French. It's Robert, but he says it Robert. And Beau's dad has just been telling Wynn, more about the circumstances around Beau's mum passing away and like that kind of effect that it had on Beau. And right at the end of that, Wynn is like so moved by it all. She just says, and I wipe my eyes, determined to go find Beau and hold him for as long as he'll let me.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so sweet.
It's nice. I really liked him as a character. I liked him visiting and kind of the dynamic in the house, and very sweet. Obviously much kind of nicer and lovelier than her mum, who wasn't awful, but just was a little bit,
but you can tell that she's
in her own world.
And there's a bit of tension between them.
Bit of tension there, yeah.
Any other ones for you?
Some of the other ones that I liked were just a couple little phrases. So they refer to themselves as co-parents with benefits.
Yeah.
That's what Sarah is trying to say.
That's what Sarah's trying to get.
Co-parents with benefits. And then they refer to themselves as friends with fetuses. Yeah. Which I thought was really cute.
Yeah.
And then I really liked in one of the scenes where they have Sarah and Caleb over and they're playing Catan.
Yes.
The board game. So
again, Sarah, what the fuck?
I know.
What is this? You're happy to play Catan, but you're going to judge and mock Caleb for playing D&D? Like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Bitch.
Back. Oh, sorry.
Mole. So, yeah, as a lover of...
I love when you say mole.
Mole. What a fucking mole. As a lover of Catan, I did really appreciate this scene, and it's kind of the opening of the chapter, and the first line is, what in the ever-loving fuck is going on? And it's Sarah whisper yelling as she reaches for more tortilla chips from the pantry.
Because
Beau is dominating,
demolishing
them. And one way he's doing it is that he's so sweet talking and lovely that he managed to convince everyone to trade with him.
Yeah.
And then Caleb comes into the kitchen. He's like, babe, hey, do you need some help? She goes, yes, we need help, Sarah seethes. Help understanding why you'd give that man 6 ore for one fucking sheep. And he's like, honestly, I don't know. It's like he just charmed them out of my hand. Yeah. And I was like, I love this. It was so very good. Again, real, wholesome, sweet, very, very cute, kind of just regular life, regular folks.
Yeah.
So I think that was...
I just thought of 2 more, but they were, one more. I'll say one more. It's kind of 2, and it's just like more like a little Easter egg. Like if you know, you know. Yeah.
I found one too.
Great. I think it might be the same one.
Oh my god.
I'll
read
say,
it to me.
Well, Wynn talks a lot about like Sarah's slutty books, and I was like, Sarah's a romance reader, just like me, Sarah.
I highlighted it
fully
when it
patted the mic. I apologize if that was like in your ear, everybody. Sorry. Yes.
I highlighted that too. She talks about like all the slutty books she reads on her Kindle, and I highlighted it. I was like, is this our Sarah?
Me, Sarah? And then you say the other one. I'm sure it's 100% the same.
Okay. I think they're helping her move. They're helping Win move out of the shitty apartment. And Sarah walks in. This is her outfit. She's wearing bike shorts and a cute oversized sweater with the word Valaris written across it.
Yeah.
I think that's from a favourite book of hers, but if I ask, we'll never get out of here on time. And I was like, SJM, shout out,
there
yes!
it is.
We got an Akatar reference.
Yeah.
So good.
And I just love when authors do that and they're like, this is set in the real world. Like in the world of Win and Bo. Yeah. Sarah J. Maas has written Akatar.
Sarah J. Maas exists.
Which is just so funny.
I love it.
It's so fun. It's like, if you don't know what that means, you're not going to miss out on anything. It's not going to change the plot. But if you do know what it means, it's just like a nice little Easter egg, a nice little, oh my gosh. HBY loves SJM.
Yes. Sitting in a tree. And I also feel like sometimes we get that with M. Hen, like, or even some of the other ones that we've read, like maybe, not Heated Rivalry, but the one before that. I can't even remember.
What did we do? Oh, was it People We Meet on Vacation? No, Hot for Slayer.
Hot for Slayer. Maybe it was people. Anyway, one of them was like one of her. One of her pastimes was reading romance fiction. One of them. Somewhere. Anyway, so like romance fiction is really in the world, and I really like that.
It was
and,
People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah, very fun. I like that in this universe, it's our universe.
Yeah.
I also found one more that I really liked. It's when they are. The Dungeons and Dragons thing is happening, and Win is kind of like, oh my gosh, like what? And they're sort of like, yeah, like basically we started doing this last year when Bo had like received his diagnosis. I think he'd had his big surgery or something. He and his ex had broken up, and it was all just like he had nothing going on, and he was like, I fucking need something. And he goes, he sent a text, and it says, hey Jer, to like, I guess it's
Jeremy. It's his boss.
Yeah, hey Jer, I have cancer, shrug emoji. Going to need some time off, maybe forever, question mark emoji. Before you ask, because everyone keeps asking, if you want to help, you can play D&D with me. I've always wanted to play. Need at least 5 guys, and I already have 3. Maybe Kev could be in too. Anyway, fingers crossed emoji. I'll hopefully be back to work soon. And then Win is like, what the hell? And Bo's like, I did what I had to do. She goes, you cancer guilted your friends into playing Dungeons and Dragons? And Walter says, he definitely did. And I had cancer, because Walter is a friend of his from a support group.
Yeah.
And I laughed because I highlighted that, and I was like, I definitely did that when I was sick. Kind of just like as a bit of a joke in some places. But there was one of my friends, like early on after my diagnosis, and we had like a cheese board, and we were like snacking or something. And one of my friends like just took like the last biscuit.
And you were like...
And I was like, oh my God, Anna, I have cancer. And she was like, ah! And I was like, tee-hee. And then one of my best friends that I've known since we were 5 was getting married. It was supposed to be March 2020. Because of COVID, they ended up having to postpone it to the November. But I was having chemo right up until the end of Feb 2020. So I was going to be at my absolute worst in terms of
immunocompromised,
appearance,
everything.
Health, everything. It was just going to be cooked at this wedding, which was devastating for me because she was like still is one of my best friends. And I was just like, this sucks. And so, I thought, like, I'm going to just look insane. I'm going to look like Lord Voldemort at this wedding. Like, what am I going to do? And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to wear a T-shirt that says, like, you have to flirt with me. I have cancer. Because everyone was like, maybe you'll meet somebody. Like, blah, blah. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God.
As if that's going to happen. And then I was like, maybe I'll wear a shirt.
Yeah.
Didn't end up wearing the shirt because the wedding got postponed. RIP to March 2020 and all of its potential. But the wedding was beautiful when I attended in November, and I had some hair at that point, so that was nice.
Nice.
But I liked that. I appreciate it. When you've got cancer, you just gotta like just lean in, use it, whatever. If it gets your friends to play D&D, all power to you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do our ratings?
Yes, let's do our ratings. I feel like we've already talked about favourite characters.
Yeah.
So we both loved Bo.
Yeah.
And Robert.
And Caleb.
And I felt like for the last couple of books, I haven't had a little friend. A little side character. I mean, there was the Loon in Heated Rivalry, which was nice.
That was funny.
I genuinely didn't think there was one in this, but I found one. Can you guess? It's so niche and like background.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
The ablest geese. Do you remember?
Yes.
Very early on, I think it's when they're taking a walk on the beach, like, or near the lake or something near their house.
She's just moved in, I think.
Something like that, yeah. And they, here we go. And again, they kind of hear a noise or whatever. And he's like, Beau's like, shit, where is it? She's like, what? He's like, I heard a goose. And she's like, we're at a beach in Canada, Beau. You're going to hear geese. And then he's like, they hate me. And she's like, they hate you. And he goes, they go for my leg every time.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if it's because it's shiny and they like that, or if geese are just little ableist fucks, but they're always trying to attack me. And I was like, we love the ableist geese.
Don't be ableist, geese.
Don't be ableist. No, so more appropriately, we love a Canada goose.
We love a Canada goose. We love a Canada bird.
They are pretty good. Yeah, a loon and now a Canada goose.
Great.
So that was my other fave character. But so what's your overall spice rating?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably for me as well.
Yeah.
It was pretty spicy, not the spiciest.
Yeah.
It was all pretty good.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
What's your overall rating of the book?
I think I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Me too.
You too.
Yeah.
Done.
I really liked it. I was thinking my 5-star is usually reserved for M-Hen. And I think I kind of liked this on par, or for slightly different reasons. I think the only thing that made this a 4 and not a 5 is that M-Hen still has that like lit fic thing that I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
It was really good.
Solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, solid 4 out of 5 book for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you reread this book for a third time?
For a third time. Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah. What about you? Would you reread it?
I would.
Yeah.
I
Wow,
feel like
this
might
like
be the first one. Yeah.
I mean, the M-Hens you might reread, but that's an M-Hen.
True.
But
this might be the
any
first
other romance book, an author. Wow.
Yeah. This
Big
might
deal,
be the first
everybody.
one I would
Big
reread.
deal.
Mark it in your calendars. This is the first time. Yeah, I think I would, and I think I'd really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'd enjoy kind of maybe also reading, picking up things I might have missed the first time, reading a bit more about Caleb and Sarah's relationship.
Yes, so you definitely would read more from this author.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I definitely
me
would.
too. I have, and I will continue to. Would you recommend this to your mum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think... Yeah, I still don't know if she would read it, but I would. Like, there's nothing that would hold me back from recommending it. It was very fun.
Yeah.
And on that note, I would also recommend it to a friend.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very easy rec. What about you? To a friend?
Same to both. Yeah,
and to your
I'd
mum?
recommend it. Yeah, definitely.
Very good.
Done.
Well, there we go. Well, that's it for our review of Out on a Limb. Let us know what you think that we should be reading next, or what you thought of this one. If you've read it, give us any more recommendations. Be like Shania and send us some good recs. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and you can watch us on YouTube. You'll find all of that at Historical Romance Review. So yeah, get in touch. We love to hear from you.
And if you ever have an accidental pregnancy, we hope that you have a hot and rich baby daddy like Beau. Fingers crossed for all of us.
Yeah, the modern day Peeta. We really want that.
Oh my gosh,
you.
yes, the Peter Malark of it all. Yeah.
The Peter Malark of it all. But until next time, happy reading.
Happy reading, Friends with Fetuses.
The Historical Romance Review is written, recorded and produced in Meanjin, Brisbane. All editing is done by Sarah Brain, original artwork by Caitlin Adams, original theme music composed by Johnny Barahona, who you can follow on Instagram at JohnnyNvivo, spelt JohnnyEnvivo. Sound support is provided by Zach Costa, and recording equipment and guidance generously provided by John Ward. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this project with their expertise and enthusiasm. You can find all our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.